Congressman Jeb Hensarling. His district covers the parts of the city of Dallas, which was hit so hard and so devastatingly last night with the loss of 5 police officers, and we wait on news of the others. Welcome, sir. Good to have you here this morning. First, your thoughts on Dallas, and then I want to get your thoughts on what we're hearing from the Congressional Black Caucus.
Well, this doesn't hit close to home. This hits home. Dallas is where my wife and children are. They were a few miles away. So as a Dallasite, this hits us all in the gut. It hits us all in the heart. We grieve, we pray, but we also demand justice. It's a very, very tough time, but I'm proud of our Dallas police force. I'm very proud of that very thin blue line. I wish from time to time, I see them in coffee shops. I thank them. I should do it more. We should all do it more. 99.99% of those officers who put on that uniform, they put their lives on the line for us. It's how we get to go to sleep safe and secure at night. You can't say thank you enough, but it is a real kick in the gut. It is a real wound in the heart. And now the question is, are people going to try to exacerbate this wound? Or are they going to try to heal this wound? It's time for America to come together and heal this wound.
So true. And when you look at the comments made by the Congressional Black Caucus, we also heard from Nancy Pelosi this morning, Paul Ryan. You're going to hear a lot of people speaking out, and I wonder what comes of it. The Congressional Black Caucus very frustrated specifically with Republicans in Congress, and they say the lack of ability to bring a vote to the floor and have an up or down vote on their measures on protecting us from gun violence. Your thoughts?
Well, number one, I don't think this is a situation to be exploited. Number two, I'm not sure that for every single tragedy that happens in America, there's necessarily a legislative solution to come out of Washington, D.C. Number three, the Second Amendment is enshrined in our Constitution, and it is something that we ought to treat with the utmost of respect, with reference. I believe in the Second Amendment just as much as I believe in the First Amendment, just as much as I believe in the Fifth Amendment as well. And so, again, there are those who may want to try to exploit this for a partisan gain. I would hope that would not be the case. We need to get the facts and all. There are many different problems that we have to deal with, including the dealing with mental health issues, which a colleague of mine, Dr. Tim Murphy, put forth a great bill that we voted on. And in addition, ultimately there's a question of what is in our hearts. We can't change people's hearts in Washington, D.C., but it's just a few miles from here that Martin Luther King gave his famous I Have a Dream speech, where he looked forward to our children one day being judged by the content of their character and not their color of our skin. We're not living out Martin Luther King's dream, and we should. That's the world we want our children to live in. It shouldn't be a controversial statement to say that all lives matter in America. And that's how we should feel. And so people are going to have to look in their heart. Do they want a color-conscious society, or do they want a color-blind society? And I think ultimately one of the great American heroes, one of the great American icons, Martin Luther King, said he wanted a color-blind society. And we're not moving towards that. And that's a tragedy. People are going to have to search deep and look in their own hearts.
Boy, I think you've said it very well, Congressman. I just saw a picture online of 2 police officers, one black officer, one white officer, written on their hands, "His life matters," with an arrow pointing to the other one. And, I heard Dr. Ben Carson speak this morning, and he said, we imagine for a moment a country without the protection of police officers. I mean, just let your mind go there for one moment and think about what that would be like.
I can't imagine, and again, I'm thinking about a wife and a 12-year-old son and a 14-year-old daughter who are back in Dallas as we speak, who are miles away, just a few miles away from downtown Dallas at our home in East Dallas. And I'm just so grateful that there are men and women who are willing to don that blue uniform of the Dallas Police or the DART, the Dallas Area Rapid Transit. I am just so thankful, and we are so blessed in Dallas to have brave men and women all over the country willing to do that. And they need to be appreciated, and they need to be respected, and they should be revered and praised for what they do.
know the motivation of one of those shooters who was killed on the scene. He said he wanted to kill white police officers and kill white people. Now, they're still questioning the other three, and we don't know yet their connection to any of this. But what kind of charges would follow in the state of Texas to that kind of motivation if they share it?
Well, I'm not an expert on Texas state law as a federal legislator. But again, we just want justice to be swift. We want justice to be sure. And it just speaks to an evil in one's heart. And again, I think it's time to have a very sobering moment. Everybody who's involved in political debate has to decide, you know, are you part of a society that wants to divide us up by race and by gender and supposedly by class, or do you want to bring us together? Is this an us versus them society, or is this a we the people society where everyone is a unique individual, everyone is a child of God, and every life is to be revered? And again, that's not something we can legislate out of Washington. That has to do with who we are fundamentally as a people and what is in our heart and what is in our head and our relationship with our Creator, who's endowed us with life and liberty and the pursuit of happiness. And we cannot have liberty, we cannot have life, we cannot have the pursuit of happiness unless we think about ourselves as we the people, and everyone is a unique individual. They're not judged by the color of their skin, they're not judged by the color of their uniform, they ought to be judged by the content of their character.
Well, life and liberty was taken from 5 police officers last night as they were carrying out their duty on the streets in Dallas to protect a very sacred right of Americans, and that is the right to protest peacefully.
Indeed.
In the street. Congressman Jeff Hensarling, thank you very much, sir. Good to have you with us today.
Thank you.